Hello and welcome back to another installment of Fodder. And as we prepare for what looks like it's going to be a rather significant update on June 1st, I kind of wanted to go over what can you do to prepare. And as I was looking at doing ideas for today's video, I was thinking about Arcanine. And you know that a lot of people are going to be testing out fire decks, no matter what else comes out. Like, even if there are other steel figures, people are going to be testing out fire figures. And it got me to thinking, well, what are some good counters to Arcanine? And let me just tell you, there is not a lot out there. I scrolled through all of the Megas, all the UX, and all the EX figures, and found very, very little as far as something that can counter Arcanine. Now, what I'm saying is not one-on-one straight up battling Arcanine. There are several counters for that, but you know that people are going to be out running their fire figures, burning your figures. And so I'm wondering which figures, when burned, can still hold up to Arcanine, and the honest answer is right now, not a lot. And I would venture to say, like, Guzzlord might be the best counter to Arcanine once you have a status effect. And by status effect, I'm not talking about paralyze or noxious. I'm actually talking about burn or, I'm sorry. When I'm talking about status, I'm not talking about confusion or noxious. I'm talking about paralysis and burn. Because I feel like, and what I've mentioned in my previous videos is, if you're going to run Arcanine, you want to run a deck built around Arcanine. So you're going to want to have figures that do status effects. And we've already talked about how confusing a figure that Arcanine is attacking into isn't that great of a deal. It can be good on certain figures, but it's not as good across the board as either paralysis or burning. And what I found is, like, Guzzlord still has a wide attack that is strong enough even when burned, because it's a base 137, I believe, that is strong enough at its base, and the wheel is set up such that you're not going to have the issue of the segment that's lost rolling frequently. Things like this, like Toxapex. Well, it's if we look at its wheel, it's already got 2 miss, which means something else is going to go away, and that's so much miss. And let's see, the bunker is 28. So either the purple or the blue is going to go away on this. Probably the purple. And I mean, your 70 is going to, like, everything rolls over into a miss. And then you go to figures that have a lot more going on. And for example, we will look at, well, like even these Latios and Latios. So if we look at the wheel at level 5, that's no miss. So only that the psychic is going to go away at 16, and 16 miss is not going to be bad when burned. The problem is you only have one winning roll, the 140, because the 140 is going to go down to 130, and then Dragon Breath is going to go down to 90 when it's burned. So that's not a good counter. And it's just slim pickings. Suicune. This is at level 5. But if we look at Suicune, the dodge is going to go away, which means your Hydro Pump is going to slide over into miss. Ice Beam will slide over into Sheer Cold, but Sheer Cold's purple, and the gold is going to knock out the purple. You know, your only real roll would be Sheer Cold over into Hydro Pump, but 70 isn't going to knock out Arcanine anyways. And then you subtract 10 from that until it becomes 60, and that's not going to beat Arcanine anyways. So they're really, going through this, there's nothing that really does well against Arcanine. Even something like Mew is actually probably, Mew and Sceptile are probably your best 2 counters. So if you look at this, this is level 5. If I get burned, well, I'm going to lose my Shuttle Flip, so no. You would have to expand Shuttle Flip so that Psychic went away. And then with Psychic going away, that's actually not a bad... It's not a bad figure against Arcanine because Arcanine can't knock it out if it rolls the 40, which probably isn't going to happen, and then the blue is going to win. So Arcanine, and then if we go back up and look at Sceptile, Sceptile has no miss, and on Sceptile, Quick Attack is going to go away, which means that you're most likely going to land Stealth Hit with the off chance of Stealth Hit sliding over into Quick Attack, which you're going to lose. But then after that, your Leaf Blade has to actually land twice in order for you to knock out Arcanine. So, you know, it's not great. And then finally, the last one that I really looked at was Lugia here, and Lugia is not good at anything really. But if we look at Lugia, only has 12 miss. Again, you're going to run into the same problem that you have with Suicune in the fact that 70A isn't going to knock out, like 70 is not going to knock out Arcanine, and it's going to be even less than that with Burn. And then if you land Cyclone, the purple move, you run the risk of getting knocked out by the gold. And I didn't go through all the rares. I'm sure that there are probably some rares that are decent. But then again, you know, it's difficult to find anything off the top of my head that holds up to Arcanine's ability if you're running a status deck. And so if we go back to the home screen, or if we go look at decks, I was theory crafting last night, thinking about, well, what can we expect to see here? And I'm afraid that we could see something like this, where you have Ho-Oh that's going to pull your figures out of the PC. It's going to pull them back, your fire types, back from Ultra Space and from being banished. You've got Altaria, which can bring your, you go Mega, and you have the opportunity to pull your figures back. You got Mega Ampharos times 2 to bring your figures back. Now, the one thing that you are really lacking here is Rush. Could pose quite a bit of a problem, although you do have the Tapu Fini to slow down the Tapu Koko. But yeah, like, are we gonna see decks like this coming out? And Moltres could be expendable. Like I said, I don't know what the other abilities that keep hinting at other figures burning just by attacking, damage buffs. So there could be some maneuverability here. The reason why I like Altaria in this, as I've mentioned before, is the +10 to Ho-Oh and the +10 to Moltres is nice. Plus, typically when Altaria gets knocked out, it's going to leave a burn status effect, which is going to help Arcanine. The one caveat to all this is you have to be careful with Tapu Fini because Tapu Fini doesn't allow status effects on your turn within 2 spaces. You know, if you wanted to swap out Tapu Fini and put in Tapu Koko as a runner or another figure as a runner, preferably some kind of a fairy type, that would be, that would be understandable. And I'm not saying that this deck is perfect, but like this deck is going to prevent you from losing figures, and it's going to kind of allow you to keep at least a 6-on-6. With your Tapu Fini, you have the option of potentially banishing a couple of figures that are going to be of a nuisance to you. And with all that being said, there's really not much else to talk about, as everybody's kind of in a holding pattern, waiting for... I'm trying to decide what deck I want to run here. Everybody's kind of waiting for the start of the new banner. This was another one that I threw together. We'll go ahead and run this one. Let's see how this one does in League. Probably just play 2 today. Hopefully I win them both, and then the best 2 out of 3 turns out to be a 2-0. But just in case, probably only going to run 2. I actually haven't run this at all. I'm not a huge fan of anti in this meta, simply because it does have a large 120 move that allows a burn status effect on KO. The problem is it's not even 50% of the wheel, which makes it rather inconsistent. The 60 is pretty much a loss. And then on top of that, the purple is super situational as far as switching. A lot of these figures, if you think about when they came out, you'll understand why the wheels are what they are. And for Entei, it came out when I don't have anything to prevent that. So we will just drop Altaria on the back line. Entei came out at a time when you had Cobalion with Deoxys defense forms on either side, and so that was very advantageous to have that ability. And so if you kind of think about that, then that explains why Entei is not as good today as it once was. We're gonna go ahead and just drop Moltres here. I know that I lose to the plus 30, even though I am getting plus 10. And then we'll bring out Sableye. This is actually my alternate Sableye, and I leveled up Will-O-Wisp specifically for this type of a deck. That's fine. Go ahead. Evolve. Does he have... Does my opponent have... No, he does not. So I'm just going to throw my Sableye up here. I've got some winning rolls there. We will take Ho-Oh and throw it up against Terrakion. And then we will bring out Arcanine. I don't even remember what plates I have. I'm just going to stall at this point because he has Zoro. I don't have... I guess I could attack... I could attack the Terrakion here, but... No, I can't. So, I'm just going to stall. I don't have any... This deck is not set up for Zoro. This was just kind of a deck that I threw together. And this is going to make for a really boring video, but... Like I said, I wasn't really thinking when I threw this deck together. I just threw a deck together. And if he's going to be like that, I'm just going to turn on AI. We'll see what the AI wants to do, because this is going to make for a really boring video. Otherwise... God. Well done, AI. Well done. So AI is actually going to just run and threaten the goal. Wow, that's interesting. Just absolutely waste the Mega Ampharos plate. I guess he was worried about, I don't know. I guess he was worried about if he just moved back, but that was dumb because all he had to do was switch over to Zoro. Although, I guess... Uh-oh, look at that. I guess he was worried that the 104 would actually take out Zoro. There you go. AI knows what it's doing here. I would move up Moltres. Okay. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing that I would have made the same play that the AI just made, but... I rolled miss. Classic. But now Zoro doesn't have to, can't switch out anymore. We're just gonna let AI run this whole game, so there's no reason not to. All right. $104 will be good here. Rainbow Wing is okay, not the preferred outcome, of course. I think just attacking into Zoroark would work with Ho-Oh. He's gonna go attack Blaze. I mean, okay. Arcanine. There we go. There's two nice rolls from Arcanine right there. Now the question is, do you move? No, you don't move up Sableye, I guess. I guess he'll probably go Mega Amp. I'm surprised he didn't go Mega there. And eventually we were going to roll Miss. You knew that was going to happen. Like, that's not a surprise to anybody, right? Oh, and the Ho-Oh could not attack Zoro because of the +10 from Altaria. I'd forgotten about that. Alright. We can deal with that. What does he have to roll to go over and... Well, it's not going to let me... he would have to roll the Steel Wing in order... Okay. That's not really... Like I said at the beginning, the reason why I just went with AI is because there really were no great matchups for Zoro in this deck. Sableye confusing it. Rolling Flame Roost is not good there. Although I doubt he's going to surround me with Terrakion. Does that allow me to bring Entei out? That's not going to work. That is one thing that concerns me about all the buffs. Is it's making Zoro a lot... Alright. Is it's making Zoro and Mew a lot stronger. With Moltres now hitting for so high, and with Ho-Oh hitting for such a high damage, it really does kind of create some problems. I don't have Mega Altaria in this deck. Man, he rolled the... Oh no. Wait. Yeah, because he was... Wait, what happened here? What did he roll? Okay, so he rolled the gold and it confused and spun over to the Roost. He'll probably go Mega here. I will say that one thing that I've learned is that the people who are using double Mega Ampharos have completely... It has become a complete crutch to them. And you can get them so that later they're not going to know how to play because they're used to be able to just consistently bring back figures. And so if Mega Amp ever falls out of the meta, then there is that potential for them to fall in the rankings, just because it is. I think everybody who runs it becomes a major crutch to them. So this is pretty much GG at this point. We'll switch out the decks. I don't know why you'd even bother to attack there, but okay. Gonna have to think of other things. I don't know what you do here. I don't know. I guess Sableye could knock out Tapu Koko. That's not going to do it. Like I say, I thought that the math was better there. Anyway. Honestly, a pretty boring game. My opponent's deck just absolutely, completely countered this deck that I threw together. I'm not even sure what I could have done different. It's just a matchup thing, and we've gotten to the point where there are so many different decks available that you are going to run into opponents who have decks that 100% completely counter what it is that you are running, and you just have to accept it. And your best hope is that you are able to get enough favorable or lucky rolls in order to come out of it. But I feel like gone are the days of like the Deoxys deck, where it was the single best deck there is in the game. And some people can say Ultra Beasts, but Ultra Beasts are not the single best deck in the game, because now you have things like Rush decks, and Rush decks give Ultra Beast decks a hard time. The deck that I'm running here is a decent counter to an Ultra Beast deck. So it looks like this opponent wants to rush. Wow, he has so much invested. He has one Tapu Koko at level 10 that has it all invested in the blue. So we will front up against you. And then he has another Tapu Koko with it all invested into the white. Pretty interesting. Mega Gengar, we will go and block that off with Altaria. That's a huge investment in Tapu Koko. I don't necessarily know that it's misplaced, but I think you could probably do better than 2 Tapu Kokos. I haven't found many decks where having multiple of the same figure has enough benefit to outweigh the weaknesses that it causes, if that makes sense. Cool. Cool. You know what? Oh, crud. Oops. I forget about that with my Feeny. Well, if we can survive one more turn, and we are, then that's going to be goodbye to Mega Gengar. I forget that when you throw water types out there that they can't attack, because I actually just wanted to confuse him. Did he really rage quit? That's pretty funny. If he really rage quit, man, what a one-trick pony. I don't know that he rage quit. He may actually have connection issues. I seriously doubt that. I think he rage quit. But like, how is the game fun if you only know one thing? And his deck is set up like he's got 10 chain levels in this. Let's see if I can go to his Blaziken. He's got 2 chain levels in there. It says level 8, which is really weird. That says level 8, right? But I see 10 chains in there. Interesting. But look at his deck. Like, he's got Mewtwo. He's got the Mega Mewtwo. Level 10. Like, he's heavily invested in this deck. How can you just have it set up so that all you have is your Gengar Rush and if you lose, you quit. Like, how is that even fun? I don't get it. But okay, I will take the free points. Thank you, thank you. And I guess we can do one more. I will change my deck up one more time. Maybe, if the game will allow me. We'll use this one again. New banner drops on the 1st. Today is the 29th. So I would say like in, well, definitely in 48 hours, but less than that now. It's probably going to be like 40 hours from now we will have the new banner up. I know a lot of people are really excited for this new banner. You know, I haven't decided how I want to approach it. I've heard everything from this is a meta-defining banner, and it very well could be. A lot of people have asked me what I think about the UXs, the Mega Houndoom, the Mega Lucario. And I have to say that for the most part, Megas haven't proven to be worth it. Mega Gengar is probably the best Mega. Probably. Mega Ampharos is great just because of its ability. It's not even that bad of a figure, but it's not a great figure. But it's great because of its ability. Other than that, you know, you see the occasional Mega Mewtwo. We may see a Mega Charizard right here. We are just going to throw my Litwick out. Yeah, so he has a Mega Charizard. Level 5, so he's heavily invested in that. I don't have a fairy type, so again, we're going to struggle with Tapu Koko. I'll be glad when the day comes that Tapu Koko is not a thing to worry about. Although, if I can get a burn onto Tapu Koko with any of my figures here, then that's going to be good, because then Arcanine becomes a hard counter to Tapu Koko. But again, I'm relying on a status effect in order to make that happen. If you're looking for a fire runner, Talonflame is actually really nice. It's gold, you know, so you have that benefit. Flareon could be really nice. You can get a really large sized wheel slice of burn, and you can put some chain levels in it, and it has the ability to double to keep spinning, and then you could end up with a pretty sizable attack. I think you can get up to 100. Probably, yeah, maybe even higher if you add in Eevee and then evolve into Flareon. You could do higher than 100, I believe, which is solid for a runner. And then the ability to burn afterwards is great. I'm gonna play Arcanine back. Like I said, I do recommend, if you are going to run a fire or an Arcanine deck, I would definitely recommend doing so by keeping Arcanine back early, getting a couple status effects on different figures, and then pressing forward after that. So we're actually going to go with Ho-Oh here. I know it's a lot of white, but it's also a 3-star purple, which could hold up against we'll go there. Now if he wants to go Mega and hop over, he has to attack. I'm gonna slide Arcanine over one. What does my opponent have? I haven't even looked at his plates. Mega, Golblock, Max. There's no reason for me to be aggressive. My best attack would be this one. I'm going to front him up. Again with the Ember. Makes me sad how often he ends up rolling Ember. And I guess it's because I feel like he should never roll Ember. I feel like it's so small. What is the Ember? 24, so 1 in 5. It's just one of those wheels when you see all that purple, you're like, it should only ever roll purple. And then it rolls purple, which ends up being a loss anyways. Definitely going to need to get something burned here. The Ember on the 60 would have been perfect. I just let him walk his Charizard all the way down the board. We'll attack here. Step by step, he walked all the way down the board. All for naught. Now I'm going to swap back out and take my Arcanine off of the goal. And put Altaria back. I definitely... Actually, you know what? I'm actually not. I'm going to X speed. Moonguy's Beam into Miss is really my only bad roll here. And Confuse is good. That's going to make Lunala into a Will-O-Wisping machine, but it's okay. Because now I can get Arcanine over there, and Arcanine is going to switch him over into a lot of Miss. Because he leveled up his white. Move Altaria up 1, and then we're going to slide Arcanine out somewhere. I don't know how I want to get Arcanine out of there. Okay. That works. See? And I'm A-okay with that. So that's how we're going to get Arcanine out. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes and hides his Tapu Koko at this point. Or he could even max revive out his Charizard. I do have the ability to hop over with Moltres here. So we're going to do that. Do I have long? I do have a long throw. This Electros will stop electric types from hopping over, but it won't stop fire types from hopping over. So I can still hop over. If he moves over one, I can just hop over and then threaten the goal and force him to use a goal block. I am threatening to surround. Wow, so many options here. We're gonna go surround there. And then we're going to slide over here. He may just take my entry point, and that's actually, I'm kind of okay with that. I'm going to set up shop right on top of him. And then I can move Ho-Oh up to here. He's going to max revive, okay. Okay. Now let's see what he wants to do here. Does he go Mega? Nope. This should be a knockout. I say should. Oh my gosh. Wow. I guess I should have double chanced. He rolled miss. God. Wow. that was a bad play by my opponent right there. He's gonna get bailed out. Actually, no, he's not. Because I can't move because of his ability. Now what does my opponent want to do? Kind of in a little bit of trouble here, actually. I do have Scoop Up. Okay. So I think I need to move Litwick over 1. He may go Mega. He does not. Now, I had the option of stepping over and attacking there, but I chose not to. Okay. But I chose not to, just in case I rolled the 20 or the miss. And now I can threaten to surround his goalie. Basically, I need Litwick to roll purple 1 time, whether he goes Mega or not. The good news here is if he decides to step back, uh-oh. That's actually beneficial, I think. An Ember again. Man. Definitely doesn't seem like a 1 in 5 chance of rolling that Ember. So Altaria just has to survive for 1 attack. That's it. Just not get knocked out for 1 attack. And if he does get knocked out, I lost to a deck that has 3 1 MP figures on it. And that's pretty shameful. I did have the option of long throwing. But let's see what happens here. Purple's great. That's GG boys. Ha! Oh. I'm not sure why he was respinning me there. But yeah. That is game. So we avoid losing to a deck with 3 1 MP figures. And we'll just let Ho-Oh. Let's let Ho-Oh shine. Take the glory. Don't know what my opponent was thinking there, but pretty good. So there you go. 2 wins and 1 loss. I said I was only going to do 2 games, and I did 3 anyways, but the first one didn't really count because I was using AI. So there you go. As we prepare for the fire, this is a lot of different decks are about to become really viable. And as I mentioned earlier, I think you just kind of have to expect that sometimes you're going to get paired up against a deck that just absolutely counters your deck, and you're like, I know people who get so mad when they lose 1 game. And like, I think that's just going to be completely unrealistic to think that at some point you're not going to come up against an opponent who's running a deck that just flat out counters whatever it is you're trying to do. Keep that in mind. Let me know, what do you see as being a counter for Arcanine? What figures do you see currently? And this could change with the new banner, but there's not going to be like 50 new figures. So for the most part, I'm making the contention that there are really no counters to Arcanine when confused, or not confused, when burned or paralyzed. Let me know if you disagree, and until next time.